The Young and the Restless Spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, Y&R Fam. Today is a beautiful, bright day outside, but honestly, inside my mind, it is a completely stormy, emotional mess after what we just witnessed on our screens. Grab your tissues, pour yourself a massive cup of coffee, and let's dive right into the heartbreak because we have a lot to unpack today. I cannot believe they did that. I am literally typing this at 2 in the morning with puffy eyes because the writers of The Young and the Restless have officially broken my heart into a million tiny, irreparable pieces. I mean, are we actually serious right now? I am so emotionally drained. I don't even know if I can form a coherent sentence, but I have to get this out of my system before I explode. So if I sound unhinged, just bear with me, because I know I'm not the only one feeling this way. Am I the only one who feels like they just got hit by a freight train? Because that ending. I'm sorry, but that was just cruel. We finally get a moment of pure, unadulterated romance, and then bam, absolute tragedy. Let me just start by saying I have been watching this show for years. I have been through the absolute ringer with these characters. I've seen Billy Abbott make the absolute worst decisions known to mankind. Remember when they tried to make him the stable, reliable guy a few years ago? Yeah, didn't work then either. He always finds a way to self-sabotage. But this time I actually bought it. I really, truly did. I wanted to believe that Billy had finally turned a corner and was ready to be the man Sally Spectra deserves. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's rewind to the beginning of the scene. Can we talk about the setup for a second? Sally walks into her home, and it is just breathtaking. Billy went all out. The single, perfect rose waiting for her. The sparkling cider chilling on ice. The soft, romantic lighting. It was like something out of a fairy tale. And honestly, for a second, I was sitting there on my couch, grinning like an absolute idiot, because Sally deserves this. After everything she has been through, after all the corporate backstabbing, the endless Newman family drama, the absolute hell she went through losing baby Ava, she deserves a man who sets up sparkling cider and treats her like a literal queen. And Billy was being so incredibly charming. The flirting, the banter. It was so classic Billy, but with this mature, grounded energy that we haven't seen from him in ages. He was actually listening to her. They sat down, and they started having a real, genuine conversation about the baby and their feelings. No running away, no deflecting with sarcastic jokes. Just raw, vulnerable honesty. Billy admits that he is completely, overwhelmingly overjoyed about the pregnancy. And you could see the exact moment the tension left Sally's body. She literally exhaled this massive sigh of relief. She admitted that she's excited too, even though she is absolutely terrified. And who wouldn't be? Because let's be real, their track record isn't exactly spotless. They have both been through so much trauma, but in that moment, it felt like they were finally on the same page. They were a solid team, so they take things to the bedroom. And the scenes of them making love and then just cuddling in bed afterward, it was so deeply intimate. It wasn't just about passion, it was about genuine connection. They were lying there, wrapped up in each other, throwing out baby names. Baby names, my heart was melting into a puddle on the floor. I was literally screaming at my TV. Yes, give them happiness. Let them be happy for once in their miserable fictional lives. But of course, this is a soap opera. Happiness is just the appetizer before the main course of absolute misery. Okay, back to the point. The proposal. Billy sits up, and he looks at her with so much love, and he gives this speech. And I am not exaggerating when I say it was one of the most beautiful, heartfelt speeches Billy Abbott has ever given in the history of this show. He talked about their future, about how much she means to him, about how this baby is a fresh start for both of them to build a real family. And then he pulls out the ring, a stunning, perfect ring. He asks Sally Spectra to marry him. and for exactly 2 seconds, I was in heaven. I was ready to pop my own bottle of sparkling cider and celebrate. I thought, finally, the writers are giving us a win. But then, the immediate, gut-wrenching shift in Sally's face. She didn't gasp with joy, she didn't smile. The tears started welling up, and not the happy kind. You know the difference. We all know the difference. She just shattered. She burst into these loud, agonizing sobs, and my stomach instantly dropped to the floor. I just knew something was horribly, horribly wrong. She looks at him, completely broken, and she drops the bomb. Their baby, isn't going to make it. The fetal heartbeat is incredibly weak. And then she says the words that actually made me pause the TV because I couldn't breathe. There is an 80% chance she has to have an abortion just to save her own life. 80%. I am losing my mind over this. Why do the writers hate Sally Spectra so much? I am genuinely asking, hasn't this poor woman suffered enough? She literally just went through the unimaginable grief of losing Ava. We watched her agonize over that loss for months. We watched her blame herself. We watched her completely unravel and try to piece her life back together. And now you're telling me she has to go through it again. But this time it's even worse because she might have to actively make the choice to terminate to save her own life. That is a level of psychological torture I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I am so incredibly furious. It feels like trauma porn at this point. Let the woman have a win. And then there's Billy. Oh my God, Billy. The camera pans to his face, and you can see his entire world just collapse in real time. The shock, the absolute, soul-crushing devastation. He is holding this engagement ring, the symbol of their entire future, and it's just turned to ash in his hands. But you know what really got me? What actually made me respect him so much in that moment? He didn't make it about him. We all know Billy. Billy is selfish. Billy spirals. When things get hard, Billy usually hits the bar or gambles or finds some self-destructive way to cope and ruin everyone's lives around him. But not this time. He swallowed it. You could see him physically forcing his own heartbreak down deep into his chest. He plastered on this brave, strong face because he knew, in that exact second, that Sally was drowning and she needed a lifeline. He pretended to be strong to protect her from the fear and the pain. He just held her. I am sobbing just thinking about it. Because deep down, we know Billy is dying inside. This is the man who lost Delia. He knows the pain of losing a child. He knows that dark, bottomless pit of grief better than anyone. And now he is staring right down into it again, but he is choosing to be the rock for Sally. I have to give massive kudos to the actors because the performances were absolutely Emmy-worthy. The raw emotion, the silent communication between them, it was phenomenal. I know some people are loving this drama. I've seen the forums tonight. People are saying, oh, this is peak soap opera, or this is going to bring them closer together and make them a super couple. And personally, I think those people are delusional. I'm sorry, but this kind of trauma doesn't just magically bring people closer. It destroys them. Look at what happened with Adam and Sally. The grief tore them apart. What is going to happen to Billy when he has to be strong for too long? He is going to crack. He's absolutely going to crack. He is suppressing his own massive trauma to be there for Sally, but that dam is going to break eventually. And when it does, it's going to be catastrophic. Will he turn back to his old vices? Will he shut her out? I am dreading it. I am absolutely dreading the fallout of this storyline because I don't trust the writers to handle it with the care it deserves. And Sally, how does she survive this? How does a person mentally recover from losing 2 babies in such a short amount of time? The guilt she is going to feel if she has to go through with the abortion to save herself. It's going to eat her alive. She's going to think she's cursed. She's going to push Billy away because she won't want to drag him down into her darkness. I can already see the writing on the wall, and I hate it. I hate IT so much. But at the same time, I can't look away because as much as I am complaining and yelling at my screen, this is the good stuff. This is the meaty, emotional storytelling that made me fall in love with The Young and the Restless in the first place. It's painful, it's messy, and it's incredibly real. It's not just boring corporate boardroom battles and fake AI emails. This is human heart. This is raw emotion. So where do we go from here? Does the 20% chance pull through? Is there a miracle waiting for us? I want to hope so. I really, really want to hope that the doctors are wrong and that Sally gets to keep this baby and wear that ring. But knowing Y&R, they are going to drag us through the mud first. We are going to see hospital beds, monitors beeping, agonizing conversations with doctors, and probably Jill Abbott bursting in to make everything 10 times worse because she has zero boundaries. I just need Billy to stay strong. Please, writers, if you're listening, do not let Billy regress. Let him step up. Let him be the man Sally needs him to be right now. Let this be the storyline that finally solidifies Billy Abbott as a mature, dependable partner. He owes it to Sally, and frankly, he owes it to himself. I am going to need at least 3 business days to recover from this episode. My heart is heavy, my eyes are swollen, and I am just so incredibly invested in these two right now. We have to brace ourselves, fam. The next few weeks are going to be a brutal, emotional roller coaster, and we are all going to need each other to get through it.